We're recording. Are you sure?
You are
I don't see
live,
the
sir.
button that said, "Oh, we're recording." Got it. Hey,
We
guys.
weren't recording any of that other shit.
No,
No, nope.
absolutely not. That's all
Oh,
B-roll.
was that the good stuff? Is that
Bullshit.
MRB? I promise you, we'll make it better. Like that's just a building. That's
Okay.
the base, my friend.
I am just getting revved up. It is 9 o'clock. And you have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Indie Underground. Our segment that we just kind of came up with, like a couple of weeks ago, right? Like, because Jake doesn't prepare for shit, so
Whoa.
it's what it is.
Damn.
And as always, we are bringing you somebody amazing from the Indies. Right now, in the chairs, right, is Better Than the Best Teron Bishop. Obviously, I'm the guy that's talking. We always have Hollywood Jacoby, and we have Mr. Monday Night Javon Stiff. But Jacoby, you have brought us a special guest.
Yes. So joining us tonight is one of my favorite professional wrestlers on the indie scene right now, straight from God himself. This is God's gift to professional wrestling. MRB, Michael Richard Blais. Welcome to the Indie Underground. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hey, dudes. What's up?
Yo, man, God's gift. That is bold. I love it. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost as good as my name, Better Than the Best. But,
It's bold, but it's true. So, like, whatever. Also, I do also say I'm better than the best.
Oh, God. You know what? We're not even going to start off on this foot because, MARC started off on this foot and I threatened him. I told him I will come to Canada. I am not scared. You will get all 170 pounds of this heat.
When did you start using Better Than the Best? I'm just going to ask.
We started this like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I have literally been using Better Than the Best. I've had it on my tights for 5 years.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. No. Well,
you can't take my shit. I'll let you have it. You can use it too. You seem like a pretty cool guy, but you're like 1A. I'm 1. I'm always 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Oh, this is what we're doing? Okay, got it. You got God's gift. Like, that's amazing.
I got it all.
I got it all, he says. Oh my goodness.
Oh God. This is how tonight's gonna go. Got it. Jacoby, you should probably start asking this guy some questions. Because he's about to catch his heat.
Well, let's kick it off like this. So you're just actually joining us after training, right? So you're obviously involved in this. Are you running a training school, or are you just training for your own stuff?
Up here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, I actually run a professional wrestling school along with another guy named Heavy Metal. It's called the Top Talent Wrestling Academy.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is I'm going there to like just keep sharp and train myself, especially because we're literally not allowed to run shows right now.
Right.
But I also get like the benefits, and I love passing on knowledge to people. So I train a lot of people as well. And a lot of times it's like people that already have a little bit of training and they're just trying to get like more advanced knowledge, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
cool.
I
mean, when you have God's gift, you just want to share it. I understand. I'm right there with you.
Exactly. Like I'm saving the people. Like I was sent here to save everybody from the mediocrity in this professional wrestling business sometimes.
Oh shit.
Not everybody's lucky enough to be as good as I am naturally.
Wow.
Mike, there's a lot of mediocrity, sir. There's a lot of mediocrity. Like we talk about it every week. Like, trust me, it drives.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of mediocrity. Then there's a lot of like, oh shit. But then there's like a lot of really good stuff. And I'm the top of the really good stuff.
Yes. I mean, any man that does a Canadian destroyer off the top of a ladder into tables has my vote. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Listen, that's a sore spot. If you've noticed, I'm the one taking the Canadian destroyer.
Most definitely. I just wanted you to, relive that moment in your head. Because I'm better than the best.
We're gonna have some issues here. You're stealing my catchphrase already, and you're fucking talking shit about the Canadian destroyer. I almost died for your entertainment, sir.
So look, I want to. Can we please? I know it's a sore spot, but we need to talk about that, man. You are fearless. Like, that is crazy. Walk us through that whole like process. Like, how was this discussed? Did you guys practice? Like, what did that look like?
Okay, well, first of all, use some logic here. Do you think we can practice that?
I mean, I don't know. Like maybe I was just like, hey, you know what? We're gonna try this. Like, just make sure it works.
How long have you watched wrestling for?
Oh, forever.
So you've heard Jim Ross say, "How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder?" You don't learn, sir.
Yes.
But like,
yes.
honestly, like, you're kind of right. I always like make this weird like joke and analogy when I'm training people. The reason I can like do the shit that I do is because for whatever reason, I have this weird messed up thing in my head where when I get in the ring, I go into this place where I don't care for that like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, if I die. And that sounds fucked. I get it. But like, that's what I'm thinking. And so like when it came to that day, I actually was just like messing around with the ladders before the show and seeing like what kind of contraption I could make. And I knew there would be a lot of people in the crowd. And I was all like, what the fuck can I do with Ted that'll go viral? And that was just like what ended up happening. I made like this giant ass fucking, like you guys saw it obviously. So I made this giant thing before the show and I was like, okay, cool. Can I climb the ladder? Okay, cool. I can climb the ladder. What can I have Ted do to me? Because like, I'm not sure if Ted's going to want me to do something to him. Oh, easy. I don't have a problem landing on my head. YOLO. And it was fun.
Oh shit, not YOLO. Like,
well, like,
fuck that. Like, ain't nobody Canadian destroying my ass off the damn floor. No, that's not. Like in heaven. You fell from heaven, okay?
Well, it's true. I am God's gift for a reason.
So being that I mean, that was just one example, right? Like I've seen a couple of other things that go on, but what is probably the most death-defying thing you've done in your career, you think? Outside of the Canadian destroy off the ladder?
Honestly, like the most death-defying one I've done is probably that Spanish fly that got like super viral too, the top rope through the two tables outside. Literally just because if that would have gone wrong in any way whatsoever, we would have died. Like if we would have missed the table by like half a foot, or if we would have like gone off to the side onto the apron. I actually tried to do it 2 months later, or not even 2 months, 2 weeks later at Joey Janela's spring break, because they like asked me to do it. And the dude that I was giving it to, his foot slipped right before we went, and we like legit almost died. And like if his foot didn't slip and I didn't adjust, we probably would have died because we missed the doors that we were supposed to go through. So we just kind of bounced off the apron to the floor. So like if that would have happened on the one that me and Marky did, we would have like actually, that would have been it for us. We would have hit the floor. I would have crushed Marky. He would have died. My knees would have exploded on impact. That's like probably the most death defying. I've done some other like wild shit too. Like I took a choke slam off a cage once and just like trust fell back onto my shoulders. But like
a 20-foot drop. Like, geez.
Yeah, dude, 20 feet. And like it was supposed to be through a table, but the dude didn't chuck me far enough. And you can't really jump off a fucking cage. Like it's not a rope. So I'm just like, whoa. And on the video, you actually see me hit the table just enough that it flips and bounces on top of my face.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like a Shane McMahon wet dream, dude.
Like we're laughing about it, but like your life is literally flashing before your eyes as you're falling off this cage, Mick Foley style, to the unknown.
So like the funny thing when you say the life flashing before the eyes thing, if you want like the closest thing to like actual death I've had happen, wouldn't like nobody would guess it. I did like this bull row match once with the guy that's my tag partner now. And we trained together since we were kids. Like I've known him since I was 13 and Tyson Kidd trained us.
Oh, wow.
He's like my guy.
Okay.
But we were doing this bull row match and he wraps it around my throat and tosses me over the top rope. And I didn't get my fingers in here on time and my ass missed the apron. So it was like he actually straight up hung me. And so what happened was I like woke up and I had like drool coming out of my mouth.
Nice.
as if like I had slept, like, you know, when you like fall asleep, like when you aren't expecting it and like for 8 hours or whatever, and then you wake up and you got like that little hanging bit of drool.
Yeah.
That was there. And apparently I was only out for like 30 seconds, but it was the most restful sleep I've ever had in my entire life. Like I felt like I'd slept for 24 hours straight. And like, I swear I talked to God when that happened. Like, I swear, like I remembered so many things from my childhood that like I didn't remember anymore. And like, I literally feel like I had the life flash before my eyes moment in that like 30 seconds.
Dude.
That is out of control.
Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
And so like when you bring that quote up, it's like, I feel I have to tell that story, but nobody would think that's death defying at all.
No.
Compared to the
But
other
it
shit I've done.
is.
Yeah,
But
right.
it is. And
Yeah.
guess what? That happened to you, and you talked to God, and now you're his gift.
It's true. I literally changed my gimmick and started calling myself God's Gift to Wrestling about a year later.
That is
Because he told me.
amazing. That is amazing.
There you go. I mean,
Yeah, man.
can't beat that, but oh my goodness. So you said that Tyson Kidd is your guy. I need to know more background on that. Where'd you meet him? Like, did a stint in Stampede maybe? Like what's the deal?
So actually when I was saying that, I meant like fucking that Brandon Van Danielson's my guy, but Tyson
Okay.
also is. He's like
Gotcha.
more like Tyson's pretty much like my older brother. Like he's my
Really?
mentor. He's not like actually my older brother,
No, yeah.
but I've known him since I was 13, and he just took like an interest in me and Brandon when we were kids
Mhm.
because we were training, and like our training at first was like it was very iffy.
Mhm.
It was like indie wrestling training essentially, and there was nobody that really like was truly giving us any structure. And then Tyson just noticed us one day, and like obviously his real name's TJ Wilson.
Right.
So like he noticed us one day when he was just between tours of Japan, and he just saw that we were getting in the ring and we were like beating the shit out of each other and doing anything we were told to do, whether it was wrong or whether it was right. We just weren't stopping.
Mhm.
And so one day he like comes up to us, and he was training with Tokyo Joe at the time. And Tokyo Joe was making him do like a lot of the like Japanese dojo style training. So he tells us to do like 100 body weight squats, which like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're like 13-year-old kids and you haven't really done any of this, it's like quite a bit. And we just like did it and did everything, and he didn't really expect us to. But so since we did do that, he was like, okay, you guys like obviously want this. So when I come back from Japan this time, I'm just going to train you from now on.
Wow.
And then,
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, and like I'm not like the wrestler or like the person I am without him.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
right.
realistically, like I'm honestly trying to think if there's been a single day in my like whole life since that time that I haven't like talked to him.
Really?
Yeah, like at the very least, like
Wow.
at the very least, we'll shoot each other a couple texts every day.
That's awesome, man.
Pretty
That is
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I owe a lot to him. He's my guy. He's my mentor.
So I know you said, you know, since you were 13, right? Like you wanted to wrestle. Like, but when did it concrete in your head? You were like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like, I am going to be a professional wrestler. This is gonna be what I do for my life. When was that moment for you?
So 13 wasn't when I wanted to wrestle. 13 is when I started wrestling.
Mhm.
Right. I've been wrestling, like I'm 31 now, and this is my like 18th year doing pro wrestling.
Awesome too.
My like moment, and like sometimes people I think doubt this and don't completely believe this because it's so outlandish and the dumbest thing you'll ever hear. But like the first memory I have of life is wanting to be a pro wrestler. Like I was 3 years old and I saw Bret Hart come out on Raw and do this little thing and do his little sit on the rope, pop into the ring shit.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I was like, at that moment, I was hooked. And then my mom always says that the next day, I literally told her I'm going to be a pro wrestler. And I never like waned from that. I never changed my mind. I never stopped.
Mhm.
I was like looking into trying to find wrestling schools from the time I was like 10, I want to say. And then I got lucky and found one that was like a kid's school, which is where I ended up meeting TJ and everything. But yeah, it was like, it's literally the boyhood, childhood dream bullshit for me.
Still though, that's awesome. Like,
Yo, like hey, that's a big deal. Like I mean, I kind of feel similar to your story about podcasting, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm never gonna be a podcast host. This shit sucks. It's for the birds. Like, however, like I think all of my life I kind of wanted to be in front of people and be able to talk to people and connect and inspire people in other ways. So it's programmed in your head most of the time. Like where you want to be. So I believe it's 3, like that you wanted to be there. And look at you now. You're there, right? You're pretty accomplished across the board. So I noticed being on the indie scene, you get opportunity to go and you get a job for some people, right? So I saw that you jobbed for Braun Strowman.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of me.
I'm always picking the spots where you're getting your ass kicked, right? Like, that's just my job because I'm the heel.
That's so.
How was getting your ass handed to you by Braun? Like, first of all, on screen, right?
Yeah,
he looks big. In real life,
if you think he looks big on screen, like try standing by him. He's probably 3 times as big in person.
Yeah.
So and like his forearm is the size of my leg, and I have big legs, and his forearm is the size of my leg, and he fucking drilled me across the face with that 3 times.
Yeah.
But like, like that whole I've done like a couple other things for WWE now, but that like whole day was like kind of surreal just because it was like, no matter how like you want to put it, whatever, whether I was signed and I was like actually like one of their guys or not, I was still on like fucking Raw.
Yeah.
Like I was still on the show that I'd been watching since I was a kid. I was still on the show that I saw Bret Hart on that made me want to be a pro wrestler. So that was like wildly surreal. The funny thing about it though, and like I told TJ this after, is all it really did was like super cement into my mind that like, oh, this is like for sure where I'm supposed to be. Like whenever that day happens, like this is where I'm supposed to be. And like, this is just what I do. Because I had like super crazy nerves before everything. But then literally as soon as I put my gear on and as soon as I walked out the curtain, it was like, oh, this is just where I'm meant to be. Like nerves went away completely. I was just like, yeah, I'm a pro wrestler. This is going to be sweet. This is going to be fun. I'm going to get my ass kicked.
Yeah. It's like breathing, right?
What's that?
It's like breathing. Like,
yeah, exactly. 100%. Like it felt like, it literally felt like I was just meant to do it. Like I was breathing. It was sweet.
So in the current climate, we have a ton of different wrestling promotions that's out there, right? What are you watching right now? What promotion are you enjoying the most? And who's your favorite current wrestler?
I watch like everything, honestly. At some point, like I'll make a point of watching everything. The ones I make a point of really, really, really paying attention to are WWE and AEW.
Okay.
And it's because like I've always had this mindset of you should pay attention to where you want to go. Yeah, and you should like you got to watch the product to get to the product. And like, those are the places I would want to go to. I also watch a lot of like MLW and GCW. I've been watching a lot of their stuff, like ever since I did spring break, especially. Like I like kind of keeping up with what they do. My favorite current wrestler right now?
Answer wisely.
I want to say like Randy Orton.
Okay.
But like, yeah, just because like I think Randy's the man, but then like if I want to throw an outside the box answer that like some people might not expect out of me, like Sasha Banks.
Yeah. I get that.
Like,
yes. Right. So yeah, like I'm gonna go ahead and say this interview is over. Like I'm out. So I'll see you guys later. Like y'all can continue this without me.
Hold on. What just happened about Sasha here?
He doesn't like Sasha Banks at all.
What?
Absolutely not. The biggest piece of hot garbage that ever existed on the planet.
See?
I like hate is not even a word that describes how I feel in the pit of my stomach. I hope Bianca Belair shits on her face. That's what
Hollywood. He's embarrassing us in front of the company.
first of all, what kind of shit are you into that you want to see Bianca Belair shit on Sasha's face? Second of all, who had better matches than Sasha during the whole pandemic era?
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
Exactly.
Bailey put it out there a little bit.
Ba-
too.
Yeah, like
Bailey-
Bailey's awesome too, for sure.
Yeah.
Bailey put it
Like-
out there. Like for Bailey, I mean, obviously I'm gonna say Charlotte, right? I do enjoy Charlotte Flair just as a pure athlete across the
geez.
board. I mean, it's just what it is, right? I enjoy
Okay, Charlotte's good. Like nobody can take anything away from Charlotte, but come on, like again, good. I'm not trying to like shit on her or anything, but like backflip to the floor, cool, whatever, YOLO. Sasha, have you seen the things she does?
Oh, Michael.
Can't break a table though. I'll give her
Like
that.
she
Like,
can't.
that's
She
my- that's
cannot
my
break a
one
table.
concern.
She
That's
can't
my
break a
one-
table to save her life.
my one
Okay, but,
concern.
like, also, have you seen the size of her?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I
She weighs
see.
100 wet. Yeah.
I mean, I understand, but Io Shirai can break a table. Meh, you know. I'm just saying.
Tomato, apples, oranges.
Look, man,
Sasha's the best.
Mike. No, not.
Yeah.
You know what? You're a guest on the show, so I'm gonna let you have it. However, she is not the best. There's a list of people that are way beyond Sasha. Like, but you know, I was a fan of Sasha at one time, but then I just realized and woke up. I was like, wow, there's better. There's better.
He wanted to go to the meet and greet when he was down there for Mania, and
I was there for Mania to meet and greet with Sasha.
Oh.
and it didn't happen. So I think that left a bad taste in his mouth.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm
so-
kind of surprised that that T didn't go out on you earlier because he's a Michaels guy, and you know obviously like Bret Hart was your first memory, you know, so kind of surprising that he didn't jump on you there. But
because I appreciate Bret Hart, and you know Bret Hart is like a national treasure to most Canadians, so I'm not gonna attack Bret Hart.
Bro, Sasha Banks is like The Rock. She's this era's Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Jump-
Exactly.
Dude,
Gosh.
if you look, so like I actually had this fucking conversation with TJ and a bunch of other people recently because I like doing weird comparisons and I'm such a wrestling nerd.
Yep.
Like that's the thing I'm nerdy about. Is like I'm.
that's why
so
you're perfect for
fucking
this
weird with
show.
wrestling.
That's why you're perfect for the show. Like you, for real, seriously.
So like I started comparing all the current day girls, like Attitude Era people, and it like actually works very well. And Sasha's gonna end up being The Rock.
Do you think that that's really gonna? You don't think Bianca is The Rock?
So like Bianca's awesome, and I'd have to try to think of like who I could compare Bianca to because I really didn't think about that one. But the reason I say Sasha's The Rock is because like, okay, Becky is pretty much the Austin of this era,
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
where she like became this massive pro wrestling star and like she's a celebrity, but everything's like based around wrestling for the most part,
Mhm.
which is cool. Whereas Sasha, she's getting to this point now where she's like a celebrity that's known everywhere. Like she's in The Mandalorian. She's literally going to end up being in movies.
Right.
Yeah, she has crossover appeal.
Yeah, she like transcends all of it. Sasha is this era's Rock.
I just,
And she did
Like,
hot ones on YouTube
Good
and stuff.
job right there.
I mean, look, it's just not my cup of tea. Like I just feel it's better performers.
Okay.
I feel it's better technical, and we got into a debate on our last podcast about technical wrestling, right? I am a technical wrestling guy. I love TJ, right? Because TJ can fucking wrestle his ass off, like So it's a difference between a wrestler and a performer, and I think Sasha is a performer. She is not a fundamental great wrestler. Like when you put her next to Charlotte, when you put her even next to Bailey, I think Bailey has more skills than Sasha, to be honest with you. Becky,
Javon is not agreeing. Let's just point this out right now.
Javon doesn't have to agree. I'm just saying my point. That's just how I feel. I don't. Sasha's done nothing impressive in the ring to me other than double knees. That's all I see is a bunch of. Might as well be a Kenny Omega of fucking WWE women division. I mean, it's just like double knees, double knees, double knees. That's all I see. Show me something else.
Banks.
Like, this is how I feel. I don't know.
So like just throwing this out there.
Yes.
did you miss every match she had with Asuka this year? Like, did you just happen to miss every single one of those that started up with
Just
nice lockups, some nice switching of reversals?
Just let me know when she
like
can put a
every
crossface
single
on.
match had some wild like submission switching. Like it was like watching Benoit and Angle.
I get it. But let me know when she puts a crossface on the proper way, and then I'll be like sold. Okay, like
The move isn't the crossface.
It's a variation of the crossface. Her bank statement is a variation of the crossface.
It doesn't look like this every time. It's proper.
Mike, we're gonna agree to disagree because we're gonna go
can
all day.
It's fine. It's fine.
Talking about. We can talk about it off air. We will talk. We will continue to talk about it.
That's fair.
On a more lighter note, to kind of change the subject, before Mike you joined, Teron was really shouting out your finisher there. He's a big fan of the what was it called again?
I want to know about the toasted bagel. That sounds delicious.
Oh, you guys watched that old or saw that like cage match or whatever?
Yeah,
they list that as my finisher still. So I stopped doing that a long time ago, but I was thinking of bringing it back.
Okay.
I've just been doing like my actual finish now is I do that Adam Cole like brain buster onto my knee.
Oh, okay. Shit.
The toasted bagel though used to be, and like I swear I've never seen anybody do it, so I really shouldn't have stopped doing it. I don't know why I did, but it was like a double underhook, and I'd hold them upside down for a while, and then pop them up and pull them back down into like almost a half power bomb, half pile driver.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would try to sit out and bring my legs over top of their arms at the same time.
That's so dope.
Yeah, that's dope. Like it was pretty dope.
Bro, you got to bring that back.
You got to bring that back, man. Like it's so original. Like to me, like when I saw it, I was like, damn, like I like that a lot.
So like the funny thing about it too, though, is like that name specifically, I never chose that. It was just like weird, wild Stampede Wrestling fans when I was a kid that chose it. Like I was wrestling on those shows when I was like 16, and for some reason they just like gravitated towards me.
Yeah.
And they would like chant like paid to see, like during other guys' matches. Like I had a lot of heat because during other guys' matches, they just chant. So my wrestling name back then was Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
They would just chant paid to see Chucky.
Oh shit.
During other guys' matches, like all night long. And then when I would come out, they chant like fuck him up, Chucky, fuck him up, and all this other shit. And then they decided they were naming my moves for me. So I had like the toasted bagel because they thought I needed a funny move name, like the fucking sliced bread.
Yeah.
So I had that. Like at one point, they were calling one of my other moves a redheaded stepchild driver. Just based on like JR was mentioning the redheaded stepchild on commentary. I think those were the two big ones. I'm trying to remember other ones, but those were the two like that stick in my head.
Apparently, you have other chants though that happen when you're around Jacoby.
Yeah. So, in one of my favorite matches that I've seen you do, and I talked about this when we were talking to MARC not too long ago, is the match that you guys did in Saskatchewan in the German club. And one of the chants was Blais wears short shorts. Blais wears short shorts.
Oh yes.
Curious where that came from. Obviously from the short shorts, but that, like, is that just kind of like for ringside specifically, or does that kind of travel along with you too?
That was like not ringside specifically, but like it was a Saskatchewan thing.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know, like actually, fuck. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I never actually like went into my memory banks on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it started because I did this one match with Clark there.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like long before the one you would have watched. This was like years ago. I think I want to say like 2016, 2017, maybe.
Okay.
And I do this thing a lot where I'll fucking be attacking the guy and then I'll go to run away and they'll grab my tights. And when they grab my tights, I'll stop and I'll bring my foot up and kick their hand away and then start kicking their ass again.
Gotcha.
But this time he held my tights so much so when I kicked his hand away, he yanked them down.
Oh, no.
And like luckily, like it wasn't full like dick and balls out or anything, but like my ass was out there. And for whatever reason, like just in my head and like the way I do shit when I get in the ring, my reaction to it was, I'm just going to keep going. So I'll kick him a few times with my ass hanging out. And then I just decided to do like basically like the Val Venus with my ass out, and then took my hands and like slowly pulled it up over my ass again. And from like that moment on, they started chanting Blais wears short shorts at me every single show, to the point that like in Saskatchewan, I just started leaning into it. Like I actually, my gimmick there pretty much is that I'm a stripper. Yeah, like the match you would have watched from the German club, I didn't do that. I didn't do it in that one.
Yeah, you were pretty
Just because,
cookie
like-
cutter baby face for that one. If I
Yeah, I was like cookie cutter baby face, and like we were doing this whole thing based on like us having our tryout shirts and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But fucking like every other match, like I come out with like furry boots on and like a bow tie and like tearaway pants, and I just
love it.
leaned into it like a motherfucker.
The non creepy Joey Ryan. I like it. Like that's
Yes,
the
definitely not. That's creepy like that.
Very non-creepy. Non-creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Very, 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 very far away from that.
Right. Not super non-creepy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Exactly.
So speaking of, you seem to have some very educated feet, man. Like, do you have any martial arts training, or it's like, because you, I noticed you do a lot of kicking people's hands away and like just a bunch of kicks. Like, where did that come from?
Dude, I have no explanation for it. I just like one day, like I decided, like I did a really good super kick. It was one of the few things that I was like naturally, instantly good at with super kicks.
That's
And then,
because
like-
you have taste. That's
Right.
just because Shawn Michaels is a super kick, and I love Shawn Michaels. So that's because you have taste. Good job.
True. It's a great move. One of the
It is.
best. But then like, I don't know why. I think actually now that I'm remembering, so when I tore my pec originally a few years ago,
Mhm.
I didn't know it was actually torn. And so all I would do was like KT tape up my arm, and I kept wrestling for like months and months and months with this thing. And for the first few months, I couldn't do fuck all with this side. I couldn't move it, right? So I started just doing kicks a lot. And for some reason, like I was really good at them, and it just stuck. And like, so I literally have no explanation. I was just really good at kicks.
Well,
It's
I mean,
God.
it's like your thing, man. Like I train in martial arts. You know, like
Yeah.
So just look at, it's just your thing. Keep that up too.
Well,
Like,
that's good to know.
So bring back the toasted bagel. That's the first request from the hardest part of the ring. Second, use those kicks. And you know what? Matter of fact, use a leg slap if you want to. We don't care. We love leg slaps. So you slap that leg,
Hey,
Michael.
but in
slap it.
fairness, in your martial arts training, do they teach you to slap the leg with your kicks?
Absolutely not. But
There's the answer.
In the world of professional wrestling, I like a good leg slap.
I don't mind a good leg slap either. A good leg slap, a well-timed good leg slap, especially on something like a super kick.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
But the big, like, I'm going to give you a chop and slap my leg at the same time instead of fucking winding up and chopping the shit out of you.
Right.
That's a little far.
Right. Well, we all know that Vince hates leg slaps now. I don't know why, but then he just does. So, you know, if you plan on going to WWE,
Probably saw somebody slapping their leg on a chop instead of just chopping the person.
well, now leg slaps are banned, you know? So whoever did that, fuck them, okay? Because all of my super kicks seem weak. Every last one of them. All 22 super kicks that I see every WWE show, they're all weak now. What are the Usos gonna do?
No.
They're just gonna kill
Jay
themselves.
Uso super kick still looks great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gargano's super kick.
There you go.
I mean, Gargano super kick's pretty good. I mean, what is poor Dolph gonna do?
Oh shit. No.
Dolph's got enough good stuff. He doesn't need the super
That's
kick
true.
anyway.
Yeah. So heel or face, man. I know in the indies, it really the more and more I talk to you guys and girls, the more I realize that heel and face really doesn't exist. But you have to prefer one of the two. Like, you know, which one do you prefer working more, heel or face?
Fuck. Such a
You can
weird
still be
one to
God's
answer.
gift as a face too.
What's that?
You can still be God's gift as a face.
Oh yeah, I still am.
Yeah.
No matter what I am, I'm God's gift. That's just how it is. It's such like a tough one to answer, and I almost have to like to give you the truest answer, I have to like pull back the fourth wall a little bit. And like I say heel, but only because I'm more in control of the pace of the match and more of the leader of the match then. And like, because at this stage, I can do either. And they're both just as fun to me when it comes from a crowd reaction standpoint. But if I'm like wrestling somebody that's super new or whatever, for example, I can't really control them as much as I want to. If I'm the good guy, I'm kind of at their mercy of like, how much are they going to beat me up during this stage and how fast are they going to move? Whereas sometimes I'm like, hey, this will probably be a better match if you calm the fuck down. But
Right.
like, it is what it is. And like, there is a point to, I like being able to talk a bit of shit to the people. So like, that's nice. But luckily, since I am God's gift, I get away with doing that as a baby face too. So I kind of do whatever I want.
So God's gift, right? These promos on Twitter, like what has inspired you? Because these shits are fire. All right, burning up. I love them. So what's it? Is it being home for COVID? Like you just try to find something different? Because that's another staple to you, man. Like if anything, I'm going to tell our fans is go to your Twitter and look at those fucking promos. They are killer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, a lot of it is that like I just wanted something to stay relevant during all this shit because like I can't wrestle, so I can't post videos of me wrestling, but I can do promos. Like I know I can talk, but I also don't have matches to promote, so I don't really have anything to talk about when it comes to matches. And then I realized when I'm at training, I go on a lot of rants to them when I'm trying to like explain shit to them and teach them. And then I was like, why don't I just do this for everybody to see? Why don't I just go on these rants for everybody to see, except like just find wording and a way to say it where it fits me as a character. So like truly like a lot of that stuff is just like my inspiration, if anything, is that I'm trying to like literally teach people. Like when I say like save yourself, like I'm almost like literally being honest about that because I've had to go on rants when I'm training people before about like, listen, like I understand you guys get frustrated and I understand sometimes stuff's hard. Like literally some of the promos I've done, but like it's a mental game. It's this, it's that. And like you can't blame wrestling for this. You can't do this or that. And like maybe you should look in the mirror and you should work a little harder if you're not where you want to be and things like that. So literally all those promos are just like true things and just me wanting to stay relevant. So I turn it up a notch and kind of act like a bit of an asshole when I'm saying them instead of being nice about it. But yeah, that's all it really is. It's just me.
So as we get to the point of we starting to wrap up with you, I'm going to ask you the magic question because you kind of answered it in the beginning, but I want to kind of hone in on it. And I know the general answer is wherever that'll give me a contract. But if you had to choose today, right, you could choose anywhere to go. Where would you go and why? AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor. Where would you go?
If I had to choose right now, like at this moment,
Yep,
I would say WWE, and that's always been my answer. And honestly,
NXT?
like the biggest reason, what's that?
NXT or Raw and SmackDown?
Okay, if you're giving me like that, it's like it's hard for me to say anything other than like right now it would either be Raw or SmackDown. I would choose SmackDown because I really like the roster that's on SmackDown a lot. And like selfishly and like weirdly, like I have some friends that are on SmackDown, so like it'd be cool to see them and like being with Natty like on the same show as her, even though we wouldn't do anything together, being on the same show with her would be cool. But it's also like wrestling's a business, obviously. So I would want to go where I'm going to make the most money, which would be main roster WWE. Like I'm going to make the most money wrestling for main roster WWE. If I'm booked on WrestleMania, I'm going to make a lot of money. But also there is the like, it's literally been my dream since I was a kid. And that's what I've been watching the entire time. And it's like, that is the pinnacle. That is the goal that I felt like I've had to fulfill ever since I was like 13 years old. So that's where I would have to choose. And like, if there's anybody in wrestling that like tells you they don't want to, like, at some point, if it's a possibility for them, at least like try to main event WrestleMania, they're probably lying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's probably never going to happen for me. Like, main eventing WrestleMania, probably not. I guarantee I will be on WrestleMania. I know that will happen. But main eventing, I understand that's like a lofty goal, but I want to try.
Of course.
And even the best guys right now that are like doing stuff on the indies and doing their own thing, like even Cody Rhodes, he'll tell you, and like I've wrestled Cody a bunch of times, and he straight up told me like he wanted to main event WrestleMania. And like that just wasn't in the cards for him. And he decided to leave and show that he could be a main eventer and be the man. And then it blossomed into this whole other thing in his own company and being God of like indie wrestling and the alternative.
Yeah.
But it all started like he wanted to main event WrestleMania. That's just the way it is. So if I had to choose right now, it's WWE.
So Javon, Javon has a saying for choosing WWE. And what's that saying, Javon?
What you mean?
Secure the what?
Oh, secure the commas.
Secure the commas. That's so you choosing WWE, you're just securing the commas and getting the bank bag. You know, like that's what the money is.
Like, honestly, like business wise, that's like completely true. That's why I said that. Like, as a businessman and like having wrestled now for like 18 years and being like, okay, like I know I'm a good professional wrestler. I've done like a lot of good stuff. Like, I also want to make some money doing this. And that would be where you would make your most money. So not only do you check off the box of like, oh, that's my dream, but you also check off the box of like, oh shit, I can retire when I'm 40 now and I have this fucking mansion and a nice car and I can support my wife and my kids if I ever have any. Like,
yeah. Jacoby, anything else before we close out?
Well, I do have one question, and that's, I mean, you did mention earlier that you're not really wrestling right now, but and kind of like after talking a little bit with Spencer and then of course with Clark, the vibe is kind of like wrestling really isn't happening right now in Canada and stuff. I'm just trying to figure out, like, do you have a timetable for when you're able to compete again? Like, I know that one of the foundations or one of the wrestling companies has actually folded recently, according to Spencer and stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, where's your head at right now with the wrestling post-pandemic, post-shutdown, I should say.
Wonder which one folded, because that I actually don't know about.
Yeah, I can't remember where it is. I just remember he was talking about, I mean, maybe they're based out in Alberta. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Interesting. So like my head is just like, I'm training as hard as I can. I'm training, like helping train people as much as I can. Like, honestly, it's messed up. I haven't had, well, I'll tell you guys something after, but like I hadn't had a match in over a year up until last week. But like, I'm also like probably the best I've ever been now, just because I've been training so hard. And like, I still go to the training building every single day and I train these guys and these girls and I try to get them better. And I get, like I said before, like I get the added benefit if that makes me better. And then also like, I'm just trying a lot of things now. I finally got, like, during the beginning of the pandemic, I finally got my torn pec fixed because I wrestled with that for 6 years and didn't realize it. So like, I'm the healthiest I've ever been, the best I've ever been. And it is like weird that there's not really any shows on the horizon.
Right. Okay.
Like I'm booked for some shows in May.
Okay.
But I have no clue if they're going to happen.
Right. So it's all
because Alberta technically hasn't even like opened up the ability to have gatherings yet. So these guys are like booking these shows, but we don't know if they're even going to say we're allowed to. Now, luckily, there was, when's this going to air? When are you guys posting this?
So this one's probably going to go up post Mania week. So it'll be that Thursday after WrestleMania.
Okay. So I'll tell, like, you guys all have seen this by then.
Okay.
By the time this goes up, whenever this goes up, you'll have seen this. So I don't have to tell you the day. I don't have to tell you any of that. I have been lucky enough that me and a couple of people, we were able to put together this thing called like the Clandestine Society. It's a show that like I actually ran.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago.
Okay.
But then we're like trying the last set of restrictions that Alberta filtered through. They put down this thing where it's all like, oh, you're allowed doing entertainment events for streaming now as long as there's not an audience.
Okay.
So I instantly was like, okay, before you guys like drop any other restrictions again, like we're gonna film this thing like now. And I put together like this whole thing, and we basically filmed like a 3-episode show.
Sweet.
And so that's gonna get announced. That's gonna actually like get announced in the next couple days, and the first episode is gonna go up on April 4th.
Well, make sure we have links. And
Oh yeah, 100%.
And we
I'll
can
send
do
you
what we have
guys.
to do on our end to help you out. Most definitely.
for sure.
We're excited for you because that's a good story that you know, like your colleagues, they haven't really had that much luck, like when it comes down to being able to do what they love. So if
Yeah,
to do so, it's amazing, man. We're glad for you.
that was the biggest thing for me, because like, so I'm really like around here, I try to like very much be like this super like positive, like try to like push everybody to be their best kind of dude.
Mhm.
And like for me right now, the biggest thing is like I just need matches and I just need footage, and I need to be able to send stuff to WWE and to AEW and to get my name out there. And it sucks that the border's closed right now because I can't even fly myself, just be like, hey, book me, guys.
Yeah.
But I needed this for myself so I could get this footage. But also like I saw how it was like everybody, these people that like aren't in the position I'm in, they're just new and they need experience. Like for example, one of the guys on the filming we did is my brother.
Oh, really?
He just started wrestling. I just started training him right before the pandemic hit.
Damn.
Literally like his first show where he should have had his first match
Mhm.
was the one that got canceled because of the pandemic hitting.
Oh, dude.
And then so it's just been a year of him training, and I see all these people like that. Or like there's this girl named Zoe Sager who's like really, really, really good. And she was trained by Lance Storm, and then she trains with us. And like by right, she should probably have at least gotten a match on AEW Dark by now.
Right.
But they're just like stuck here and can't do anything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I need this for me, but like these guys also need this. So I have to make sure we get this done and like we get this out there. So like people like you guys can see these people,
Yeah, definitely.
because like, and so they can get the experience too. Like I instantly saw the light bulb go off in my brother's head, and like I saw the confidence in him change and him be like, oh, I guess I actually am like okay at this wrestling and I can do it, as soon as he actually was able to have something that like felt like a real match.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Because like you can train, and training is awesome, but you can only do so much, and you can only feel it like deep in your goddamn soul so much
Mhm.
without it being an actual match.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm looking
and like
forward
it's
to the
cool
show
that we
now,
were able
though.
to do that.
Yeah, I'm like hyped. You now hyped me up. Like I'm
Perfect.
want to watch it.
It's gonna be great. I can already
Beautiful.
tell it's gonna be great. Do you
Yeah.
wrestle your brother in the show?
Yes.
Spoilers, man.
wait,
Shut up. We don't want to
Gotta
know
wait
that.
and see.
Don't
I'm sorry.
answer that,
I'm sorry.
Mike.
I'm ahead of
Don't
myself.
answer
I'm ahead of myself.
that. Yeah, don't
Sorry.
answer that.
Javon has one question, right?
Yes. Hoping you can settle a debate for us.
Oh god.
Okay.
Being the wrestling nerd that you are.
Okay.
So we are doing a top 100 wrestlers of all time list.
Javon's a shit stirrer, just so you know.
Jesus.
So the way that we did it was that it's us three, and then another one of our hosts is we all did our individual top 100s, right?
Okay.
And through him basically putting the medians of like who's who, you know what I mean, just based on where we ranked everybody, we made a collective top 100 from all of us.
Okay.
Right. Unfortunately, Sasha didn't even make the list. You
This
know
is all
why?
the time,
I'm
bro.
closing the chat.
So, bruh, Bailey made the list. Wait a minute.
Well,
So,
she didn't make my
right.
list.
So, let me pose this question. We ended up ranking John Cena at 21. One person thinks that's too low. One person thinks that's too high. What do you think?
I think that's criminally low. That's way too
Thank
low,
you.
man.
Thank you. Let's wrap it up right now.
We're gonna let him just finish his thought, and then we will have this conversation off air. Like,
I
that's
think
what's
you
gonna
can
happen.
tell who's the one that thinks it's too. That's too.
I didn't wait, Javon, but you actually put words in my mouth. I didn't say it was too high. It's some words that was used.
Well, you
In
thought
that
you
conversation.
thought being 21 was right. He was good at 21, whereas Jacoby thought, nah, that's too. He should be higher.
Should be
Okay,
higher.
where does like Jacoby? Where do you think he should be?
Oh, I think he's a top 10. In my opinion, he made my top 10.
100%.
He didn't make my
Okay.
top 5, but he made my top 10.
I think like depending how you look at it, like you could make an argument for top 5,
Of course.
but
And
that's
where
why
the
like
subjectivity comes into it. Like, people that I like
These
more.
motherfuckers
Exactly.
here, dude, like,
but like when it comes right down to it, like I don't
Niggas
think it's possible
smiling
to
and
make an
having a
argument
good old
for less than
time.
top 10.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a hate crime. Like it's like
Fucking-
it's such a crime to
I
have
hate
the
crime.
franchise.
wow.
Literally
I
the
hate- I
franchise.
fucking hate crime.
I might have been a little far.
It might be a
I
little bit
hate
far,
crime.
but
So,
it
like,
is
wait a minute.
a
Can we pause?
crime.
No,
It is not
No,
okay.
no. See, you about to start this argument again. Like, I don't understand why you would do that. So now it's a hate crime. First, he was legendary. Now it's a hate crime. So you have offended me twice. I'm the only gay person on this show, and it's a hate crime that John Cena is the girl. Woo. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We just gonna turn this around. So, Mike, we would like to play a game.
My job is done.
Well, thank you for siding with me, but now we're gonna quickly.
Later. Mike, we would like to play a game with you, and I am going to ask you 10 questions, and they're going to be short questions, and I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to answer the question, like right off cuff. Don't think, just the first thing that comes to your mind. Are
I'll
you
do my
ready?
best. I have trouble not thinking of questions, so I'll try my best.
We'll give you 5 seconds. Like, we'll give you 5 seconds to give an answer. I think that's ample enough time because you're a wrestling nerd. So we'll do that. All right. So ready, set, and favorite wrestling theme song.
Stone Cold.
Favorite gimmick.
Kane?
Most annoying.
That's. Oh, we'll get to that later.
Did you say most annoying?
Most annoying wrestler.
Oh, can I say stable?
Sure.
It's the whole
Go
right
for
to
it.
censor.
Go
That was
for it.
terrible.
Favorite heel.
Randy Orton.
All time
Wrestling-
or right now?
All time.
Okay.
Wrestler you can beat.
Wrestler I can beat?
Yep, right now.
Oh, right now? I don't know. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, any of those guys.
Which wrestler should turn heel right now?
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Sasha?
Your least favorite finisher.
God damn. There's a lot. Jesus. My least favorite off the top of my head, I don't even know if I can answer that.
Okay, we'll
Best,
skip
like-
that one. Best wrestling spot of all time.
Best wrestling spot of all time?
Mhm.
I think it's hard to say anything less than the Foley, not the Foley toss off the cage, but the Foley choke slam through the cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like that's wild.
We'll follow it up with most hardcore.
Most hardcore, Terry Funk.
Last but not least, the best storyline ever.
Oh, best storyline ever is Heart Foundation 1997. Like the entire Heart
Yes.
Foundation run, where you mix like all the different stories, the nooks and crannies together. Like you got Austin, you got Shawn, you got Undertaker. Like that entire run from the time Brett starts, like pretty much from Survivor Series 96 on until the screw job. That whole year is perfect.
All right. Well, there's your answer. So as we close out, anything that you would like to plug to our fans?
If I was gonna plug anything, I'd say just check me out on all of social media. You can literally find me at everything by just doing @GodsGiftMRB. Like that's me on Facebook. It's just facebook.com/GodsGiftMRB. Instagram is @GodsGiftMRB. Twitter's @GodsGiftMRB. You could also find, fuck, I wish I knew the handle. I'm sorry, but
We'll plug it
Search-
in the back end if that did not come out right. We will.
yeah, search Top Talent Wrestling Academy or
Okay.
Top Talent Brand, maybe it is, on Twitter. That's our pro wrestling school up here in Edmonton.
Okay.
And then the other one that you could check out is at Clandestine SOC. So CLANDESTINE SOC on Twitter and Instagram.
Mhm.
That's the show basically that we filmed and
Gotcha.
what we'll be doing around here for as long as we have to be able to keep getting our names out there and some footage out there.
Perfect.
So yeah, check me out, check my school out, check those shows out.
Perfect. Well,
That's it for now.
you are an awesome guest to have. We appreciate you coming and hanging out with us on the hardest part of the ring. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, Mike, thanks so
Thank
much
you
for doing
guys. That was
this.
fun.
All right. Thanks, man. We appreciate you.